deep connection that people have to the forest. She talks about a network of energy that flows through all living things. She says all energy is only borrowed, and one day you have to give it back.
Retain gang, what's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again. Hey y'all, so lately I've been having this urge to just go back and watch old movies that I haven't seen since I was young. And I was watching the Avatar this past weekend, and it was crazy. Like, I haven't seen that movie in so long, and it's crazy like watching it now, how many downloads I got from that movie, how many things that I started to notice that I didn't notice when I was younger, right? So I want to do this video for y'all, man, just to, you know, give y'all some of the insight that I got from that movie. And it's crazy because I made a few videos about the hair and how your hair connects you to everything, right? And it's funny because in the movie The Avatar, like the Na'vi people, they would connect to their animals or the little horses that they was riding. Remember, they had the little connection. They would connect to the hair of that animal, and they would put their hair, and it was like a little connection, right? And that's how they would link and sync in with that creature. I think they had the little flying dragons too, when they had to like catch one and hurry up and link with it, right? So it's like, y'all are one. And it's funny because, you know, they put a lot of truths in movies, man. And it just shows you how powerful your hair is. Your hair is something more than just something that grows out your scalp, right? These are antennas and wires, right? These connect you to all. Remember, they did studies, you know, the military did studies on Native Americans, and when they cut their hair, they lost all their intuition and they lost their connection with nature. But there was a whole bunch of gems in that movie, man. I tell you guys, get back to nature, because nature is the original matrix. Like, this body, this vessel that you are operating comes from nature. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. You know, so you are borrowing this body. You are using it to experience this 3D realm. But when this avatar, when it expires, it goes back into the earth and it gets recycled. We are connected to the original matrix, which is the earth, nature. Once y'all realize that we are all connected, right? I always say we're all connected. Everything is connected, right? You see in the movie how they were one with nature. They could even connect to the trees and the plants with their hair, right? Y'all should go back and watch that movie, man. It got some gems in it, right? The Na'vi people, the Avatar, they was connected to the whole planet, to the trees and the plants. They was one with it. Their soul, their energy was one with that planet, right? Remember in the movie when they started cutting down the trees and plowing down the trees? And then the scientist lady, she told them to stop doing that because the trees, they're all connected. And they felt the pain of that forest being destroyed. And she said, you know, the dude said, they're just trees. He said, what's the big issue? It's just a tree. And the lady said, no, it's a whole neurological connection. She said, there's more neurological connections in that on this planet than in the human brain, which means that every tree, every plant was connected. That entire planet was one big neurological hub. And I actually did some research on that, and it's called mycelium, a mycelium network, which is a fungi that grows on the roots of plants and trees. And then it spreads out like wires, and it starts to connect to the roots of all the plants and trees in that forest. And what it does is it transmits information. So it allows the trees and the plants to communicate with each other. So it's a literal network. They called it like the World Wide Web, but it's in the forest. It's within nature. Remember, I tell you guys, everything is modeled after the original matrix. All this new technology that you see is not new. It's just done in a different way. There's nothing new under the sun. So when you get on your phone and you get on the World Wide Web, it's a network of connections, right? a network of phones and iPads and computers, IP addresses. And that's how you're able to communicate. The same thing with nature. Everything is connected underneath the ground through neurological connections and networks, a flow of electrons. But these mycelium fungi, these mycelium networks allow that connection to happen because they transmit that information between all of the life forms, you know, plants and trees in the forest, right? That's why I tell you guys, man, when you go outside, right, my energy last week was muddled. Y'all like that word, right? Muddled. But nah, my energy, my thoughts was muddled. So I went outside, you know, planted my feet in the dirt, went to the park, I was around some trees, planted my feet in the grass, the dirt, and I started doing my stretches, you know, doing my affirmations. It was a nice sunny day too, but I stayed out there for about 30 minutes and I noticed like all that confusion and just chaotic energy that I had, chaotic thoughts that I had, it all went away. And I felt light as a feather again, right? Understand, when you plant your feet into the earth, you're getting that radiation from underneath the earth. There's a sun underneath the earth as well, right? So you're not just getting heat from that sun in the sky, it's actually coming from the ground as well. So your panels, your feet, the solar panels of your feet absorbs energy. So when you plant your feet in the dirt, not only are you getting the information from the plants and the trees around you, remember, because it's all connected underneath the ground, but also you're getting that information from the electromagnetic sun that's in the earth as well, right? Remember, guys, this body is the technology of the original matrix. But see, you've been taught to get away from nature and go back into the cities and concrete and man-made matrix, which is why a lot of people are in disorder and chaos, right? It's just like you trying to, you know, you got an iPhone, but you're trying to use an Android charger to charge your phone up. It's not gonna work. It's not the same technology. You gotta go back to where you were created from, which is the dirt, the nature. That's where you belong. And when you get back into it, you'll notice that it's gonna nurture you and it's gonna give you everything that you need, right? It's sort of like you playing outside as a little kid and you might scrape your elbow or your knee. So you go in the house and your mom, she might clean up your wound. You know, she gonna stitch you up and nurture you. And she gonna say, you know, be careful next time. That's the same thing what happens when you feel like your energy is chaotic and you can't control yourself, you feel lost. Go in nature, plant your feet in the dirt, go back to Mother Nature, that's gonna heal you. Those colors, those frequencies that you see, that color green, looking at the grass and the leaves from the trees, you don't think that's doing something to you psychologically? Right? Color has a frequency too. So that affects you. Right? Green is the heart chakra, the chakra of love, unconditional love. It's going to heal you. Just by you looking at that color, you're intaking that color, that frequency is going to heal you. This is real, people. It's very real. You know, I used to work in a factory, and as soon as I would get into work, as soon as I walk in through the door, right, you just see gray walls and concrete everywhere. And immediately my energy would drop. I would be in a low vibrational state. And everybody else at that job would be too. You know, everybody got frowns, nobody's smiling. But we're surrounded with no color. It's just all gray, gloomy, concrete, gloomy colors. And it affected our energy. I notice when I'm outside, it's a sunny day, it's bright, you see green everywhere, your frequency rises automatically. So remember, we're all connected. The original matrix is nature. You know, that movie had a lot of gems in it, man. You know, they was connected to the plants and the animals and the trees. You notice they were barefoot. They didn't have shoes on, right? They barely had any garments on. They was barefoot the whole time. They was connected. Remember, they had the tree, I forget what it was called, but it was that tree, that big willow, that pink tree or whatever, that connected them to, you know, that was like the central hub of the planet. And it connected them to all the information of the trees and the plants. Remember, I tell you, the trees, man, the trees give you information as well. You know, put your back against a tree, go outside and sit next to a tree, and you'll get all type of information and downloads. Remember, Isaac Newton sat underneath the tree when the apple fell and hit him on that head, and that's when he came up with the laws of physics. But he was underneath the tree, right? You see the symbolism in that? He got the information from the tree. I tell you guys, you don't need books to get information. This whole planet is one big worldwide web. Everything has a neurological connection to it. You can just go outside, right? Plant your feet in the dirt, and you're getting information from the grass, from the plants. You're breathing in the information from the trees, right? You're seeing all the colors, the bugs flying past, all these different frequencies, the birds chirping. You're getting information just from being out there and hearing all these different frequencies and figments of light coming and hitting your eyes. People ask me where I get my information from, man, because I be out in nature and I get light codes and downloads, right? You can get information through the process of thoughts and ideas. You know, you might be asking a question or you might need answers, and then you'll start getting these thoughts and ideas out of nowhere. Or you might be led to your answers via a book. I've never read a book cover to cover. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times when I need answers, I'll be led to a certain book, and then I'll read that book until I get the information that I need, and then I don't need that book anymore, right? Because most books anyway, you're just reading somebody else's perspective. And if you read a lot of self-help books, most self-help books, they got points that they hit on, and then most of the book is just fillers. They just give you examples or real life situations of that point that they're talking about. But for the most part, you know, a book is just, you're just getting somebody else's perspective and their experience on that information. But you don't need somebody else's perspective, right? You can have your own perspective on things. Nature is the original matrix, right? Plug back into that. We didn't got so far away from it. You know, we've been disconnected. We wear rubber shoes, which disconnects us, right? We're not even getting that neurological link back to the earth anymore because we're always wearing shoes or we're walking on concrete, sidewalks and things like that. So it's imperative, man. Hey, go watch that movie, man. It'll give y'all some great insight on just the truth about how this planet really is and just who we really are and how we are connected to the all. Because nature was created for us. So we connect back to the source, back to the all, back to the cosmos by going back into nature. All right? So, Retain Game, and it's your boy Tay. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what y'all would like me to talk about next, or how y'all felt about this video, man. Y'all have a beautiful day, and I'm out.